Blue and Gold Report. I'm Fumi Kimura. We're with Mitch Wise, junior driver from the men's water polo team. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Hi, glad to be here.
You had a great tournament. You went 2-2 at the SoCal tournament, but you're 12-3 on the year. You're having a fantastic season.
Yeah, we are. We're doing really well.
You beat UC Davis, I believe, and you beat number 4 Cal, avenging an earlier season loss before falling to USC and UCLA. So what was the difference in your second matchup against Cal? Let's start there.
So the first time we played them, we were coming just off an overtime loss to San Diego, and we were kind of a little bit tired because we played 2 games in one day. And so the second time around, we knew kind of what they were going to do. They were going to swim fast, and we definitely played some good defense against Cal, and we did well the second time around, just limiting them to less goals and also scoring more on the offensive end. So.
Now, did you expect to see them at the Mount Pax?
Yeah, definitely. They're top 4 team, but we beat them. So I mean, we're a top 4 team, I think, too. So they'll definitely be there. It's the top 8 teams that go to the Mount Pax. So.
Well, you have 36 goals on the year, 6 more than you had your freshman season. You redshirted in 09, but your freshman season was 2010. Individually, you're having a great year yourself. What's the key to that this year?
It's all about the team. I mean, my goals are just they basically exhibit what the team's doing, and it's a lot of our players have a lot of goals this year, which is good because it's a team effort, and everyone's contributing, so that's good.
For our water polo fans, or actually for our Andier fans who may not understand water polo very well, can you explain the driver position and what it entails?
Yeah, so the driver position is it's basically like a wing or point guard in basketball. So there's 5 drivers and there's 1 center position. So the drivers, their objective is to get the ball into the center, the 2-meter man, and also they can also drive. That's why it's called the driver. So they can drive and try and get open on, like drive, swimming towards the goal. So.
Now, similar to basketball, is the prototypical driver small and fast? Because I know Boyan's a little bit smaller than you are, and he has, gosh, he's got to have like probably 36, 40 goals as well.
Yeah.
So what is the prototypical driver size?
It's usually smaller than the center, quicker, faster. There can be bigger drivers too that can post up and kind of act like a 2-meter man, but usually they're smaller than the center. So.
Now, were you always a driver? Was that your natural position?
Yeah, well, in high school I was a center because I mean there wasn't very many people on my team, and so center is really important to the team. They hold the position, and it's a big part of the offense. So I was basically a utility in high school. I played almost everywhere. So, but after high school, I just focused on driving because I was a little bit smaller than the normal setter.
Now, you're 6'2". When you came to UC Irvine and you started playing against these larger centers, were you surprised at the height difference and the weight difference?
Yeah. They were when I first came here, they were humongous. Like I saw these seniors that were 6'6", 250, and I was like, how am I going to guard this guy? But you eventually figure it out, and you can figure ways to get around the centers if you're a little bit smaller. Just stay away from them and don't let them grab you. So.
Now, you talked a little bit about high school. You're from Oregon. How did you get into the sport of water polo that's not known as a hotbed?
Yeah, so it's a lot bigger down in California. So my brother watched it on the Olympics, water polo, and we were always on the neighborhood swim team, and he thought, hey, I play baseball, I swim, this looks like a fun sport to try out. So my oldest brother, Matt, he watched the Olympics, then he tried it out at our local pool, and he loved it because he was totally into the intense competition. And so then my middle brother got into it, and eventually me. So it's not very big in Oregon, but it's definitely a fun sport if you like to throw the ball hard and if you like to swim.
Now, I've known a couple of water polo players throughout the years that came to UC Irvine. Have you ever just driven a ball at a guy's face?
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, like, So that you can field block in water polo.
Mhm.
So if you the old rules used to be if you throw it off the field block, then it would be your ball. So I guess a lot of people back in the day used to just throw it as hard as they could off some guy and get the ball back. So I've never really intentionally done that, but I've definitely done it on accident. So
Has it happened to you?
yeah, I just last in SoCal tournament I got hit in the face when I was trying to shot block.
So Oregon to UC Irvine, how did that happen? How did that transition work?
So I used to play on this club team. It was Washington and Oregon combined, and so the coach in Washington, Tim Reed, he did a camp and he invited his friend Rick Merlot, who went to UCI alumni. He went to the Olympics. So I got to talking to Rick, and he said, "Where do you think about going to school?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, somewhere in California, because that's where all the schools are. Maybe UC Irvine." And he said, "No way." Really? Because I'm from UC Irvine. And I said that because he's from UC Irvine. And he's like, "Yeah, well, let me talk to Mark Hunt, and maybe you guys can figure something out." So that's how I got into UC Irvine, talking to UC Irvine.
So you knew Rick was from Irvine, but Rick didn't know you knew.
Yeah. He didn't
So
think
you
that I
worked
knew.
him a little?
Yeah.
Nice. Were you playing any other sports at the time? In addition to water polo, did you have to choose one at some point? Because I know you're an all-around athlete.
Yeah, I was on the swim team in high school, and I was also on the baseball team. So for the longest time, I couldn't decide. I mean, I thought about swimming and playing baseball somewhere, and also obviously water polo was on my mind as well. And I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, so eventually I just decided water polo. So, but baseball was a huge part of my life too. I played in the Little League, the regional tournament in San Bernardino.
Did you really?
Yeah. And so we were like one game away from going to the World Series. So that was a fun time.
That must have been a great experience.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Do you still watch it on TV every year?
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see like all the kids that go. Like there's been some teams from Oregon, and yeah, it's definitely fun to watch.
When was the last time you played baseball?
Senior year of high school. Like the last game of my senior year was the last baseball game I played in. So I was thinking about doing it. I didn't know if I wanted to do baseball or water polo, but decided water polo in the end.
So in addition to that, I'm told you ski, you play basketball, or you ski and you swam, and you played baseball competitively. And then for fun, you picked up basketball, tennis, and volleyball.
Oh, yeah. So skiing, I've been skiing since I was 3, and my mom and dad taught me, and we used to go up to Mount Hood, Mount Bachelor in Oregon, and that's actually how I got the scar on my face. It was skiing. I was skiing down this like black diamond, or I think double black or something like that, when I was 8 years old, and yeah, so that was a tough injury. But yeah, volleyball, basketball, and tennis, those are just things that I like to do with my friends and my roommates. So
Now I'm told that you guys will go to the Arc and set up some basketball teams. Are you the last one to get picked?
I'm usually like the people that are picking, so the captains.
You're one of the captains?
Yeah.
So who on your team is the last to get picked, usually?
I don't know. That's kind of hard to say, but we have some guys that are not the best basketball players or land athletes.
Well, they kill you in the pool, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, you're a health food nut, from what I'm told. You eat a ton of organic food. In fact, you stuff the fridge and the freezer, and your roommates weren't able to put their own food in. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess. I've been on this crave where I like to juice and drink a bunch of healthy juices and stuff like that. My mom and dad got me into it kind of because they were doing it. But yeah, I kind of stuff the freezer with frozen berries and don't leave a lot of room for my roommates. So.
And they don't eat it, from what you told me.
No, they don't. I don't think they like the stuff I get, like the the almond butter or anything like that. They prefer regular peanut butter. So
Now, because you like all the organic stuff, are you cooking yourself, or do you cook yourself, or is it all prepared?
I like to cook sometimes, but sometimes there's not a lot of time after practice, so I like to heat up a quick like DiGiorno or something just to satisfy my hunger. So
And that kind of fits into your major, which is Earth and Environmental Science. So what are you looking to do with that degree?
I'm not really sure yet. I've been checking online the types of careers that involve Earth and environmental science, but maybe the one that I'm thinking of kind of right now is environmental consulting. It's kind of interests me a lot, so we'll see how it plays out.
Now, what does an environmental consultant do?
So they're into like sorry, I have to think about this. So they're into like helping businesses out with the environmental rules and laws and regulations. So they basically help businesses to follow the rules about where to dump their water, what to do with certain types of things that they want to dispose of. So
Has this been a long time interest of yours, environmental science?
it kind of just hit me when I took a few classes at UCI. It's definitely interests me. That's why I majored in it. So it's been pretty much in the back of my mind since high school. So
Well, that sounds really great. Mitch, the Anteaters are 12-3. You guys are having a great year.
yeah.
Want to wish you the best of luck the rest of the season, and thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.